Hey everybody, this is Perch. Here's something I haven't gotten this take before in this way, so I'm curious. So this mail comes in from a viewer. It says, "Hello, I've been following your YouTube channel for almost a month now. I'm very impressed with your work. Thank you. I appreciate that you put up with the bad audio. I always like it when somebody comes in who's relatively new to the channel, like, man, get this guy a new microphone. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, pal. You know, it's like that meme. You new around here. Anyway." One of the biggest subjects I hear discussed on your show is the idea of characters from the Big Two not adhering to the cultural norms that have defined them in the past, for the past 50, 60 years. That's true. Captain America not having faith in the government, Batman going broke, etc. Use James Bond as a great example as a franchise that does well when the main character sticks to his bread and butter, actiony international spy stuff and martinis and PG-13 boning. I haven't heard described that way before either, but that's awesome. While I agree that DC and Marvel definitely shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, I can't help but think how destructive some of the ideas that are conveyed are. For example, I feel like Batman's way too mired with propaganda. I haven't heard that word before. It wasn't something he started off with, but it caught on as early as the 40s when he and Robin were deputized as honorary GCPD. Year one increased the bond with Gordon, and it's been going strong ever since. That's sort of. It kind of comes and goes. It feels like whatever the writer is like either going to do more of Batman working the police or less. And in many ways, it feels like I don't know, like a crutch they kind of lean on. It's like, we got to get Batman some detective stuff, and we have no idea of how to do that. So we'll have Gordon call him up. And I don't know. And then they're like, oh man, Batman's gone too far. Gordon's going to. There's been actual stories where Gordon's destroyed the little bat signal. And then like a year and a half goes by, creative team switches, and the bat signal is just back. Like in theory, I guess they rebuilt it. But you got to believe that somebody in like the finance and payroll department, the GCBD, is like, God damn it, Gordon, why you another expense report for a giant metal circle and some neon bulbs that always run up our electricity bill? Can you not go up there with an axe and smash it down next time, you big jackass? If you're either you're in or out. Stop it with this stuff. I don't know. They keep shuffling on that, and I think it's the writers decide, screw it, we're gonna. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's often confusing to me, but it does seem like they waffle on this quite a bit. Anyway, but I continue here. And let's see, your run the increased bond is going strong ever since. Really, the only Gordon Batman needs to be close to is Barbara, due to her activities as Batgirl Oracle, or whatever DC has her helping as. Another could be Reed Richards and his growing coldness to his family. As you mentioned, it's not necessary. It doesn't make the FF stories memorable. Should there be a council of geeks that reminds the Big Two which qualities are actually attracting, keeping, and growing readers and fans? Sorry for the long rant, but it's something I've been trying to wrap my head around for a while now. All right, so I'm not quite with you on the Batman and the police. I don't quite get where you're coming from there. I think the goal is that it's core to Batman for him to be an outsider with the police, and he's gotten too in with the police as a storyteller. I think that was what you're saying, and like I said, I don't really see that, but I do think, like I mentioned, that it's used as a crutch a lot of the time. That it's just used as a convenient story excuse. And then they also use it as a convenient story excuse when it's like, man, Batman's gone too far. Now the police won't talk to him anymore. And that gets tiresome. It gets tiresome for sure. But I do think so too. But I think in your general point, this is an area where there are core elements to the characters. They're important, and they're what makes the characters tick. And you can evolve them, but in many cases, the evolution of that is not thoughtful. The evolution is more along the lines of, hey, it's a classic. This will subvert expectations. We're going to take a character like a Captain America, and he wears the American flag on his chest, but we're going to make it so he hates America. And he doesn't believe in the American dream anymore. And how is he going to grapple with this idea that he wears the American flag and he's called Captain America if he doesn't believe in America anymore? Oh my God. And that feels like that for one thing, it's not subverting expectations when you do that, every 6 months. That's your story. And Captain America has been trapped in that for a good 20 years. Again, this is where like Mark Grunwald does a really classic, amazing story, and everybody's like, "Wow, that was a classic, amazing story. I should do that too." And then they just keep doing it, and they forget that one of the things that made Grunwald's story tick is that it was actually original and novel at the time, and it's not anymore. So that's kind of how these things go. But overall, I think there, what happens is the core elements of characters, the core personality traits that make them who they are often seen as old fashioned or cheap or dumb, or they're not cool. And so we've got to break those things down. We've got to eliminate a lot of those core elements because it makes a character less interesting. Is a belief that if we just do the same old thing, then the character is not going to, nobody's going to buy that. I mean, who wants to see Reed Richards be a good dad? I mean, boomers, that's who. Nobody who's interested in that. But if that's a core part of the character's, personality and how they've grown and how they've evolved, you take that away, and it's like, it'd be like if you are playing a game of Jenga, and you just rip out all the wooden pegs on the first 2 or 3 rows of the tower. You blow up the platform, and then nothing can hold up top. Characters, when done well, grow and evolve from their base. They don't rip out the base or forget about it or say, well, that base is inconvenient, so we're going to ignore it. They transform it, they evolve it, they move forward with it. That's how they progress as a comic. And I think that a lot of the stories today, I mean, I think it's a combination of a lot of the stories today. There's no longevity. So you get these writers and they're like, I'm going to, get a 6-month run, or if I'm really lucky, a 12-month run. And so that 12-month run, you want to quickly grab people's attention. And the easy, cheap way to grab people's attention is to go, hey, you never thought this would happen. Reed Richards is a pedophile. Oh my God. Who knew? I never knew this, but man, can you believe they did this? Wow. And in many cases, the writers are asked to do this. I've heard from lots and lots of writers that are asked to come in and pitch, and they're told, don't worry about anything that happened in the past. You can do it, do anything. In fact, we really want to see something that goes completely outside of the box of what we've had before. So go ahead and give us something completely new and dramatic and different, and shake things up. I think at Marvel, that was one of their go-to statements of go ahead and shake things up. Take what you think and hit the blow up button on it. Let's see what happens. And if that's your goal, to shake things up, then yeah, you're going to wander away from the core of those characters. Now, I don't know about a Council of Geeks, but in theory, this is what a good editor-in-chief would do. Is what a Tom Brevoort or a Dan Didio or somebody like that would say. Hey, we want to tell lots of amazing stories. We want to shock and delight our viewers, our readers. We want to get a lot of good attention on this. We want to do all those things, but don't destroy the platform that makes these characters powerful and what they are. You've got to maintain the base. So, when you're pitching this story, I'm hoping that you'll do something new and surprising and exciting and something that will get a lot of buzz and get people onto this title. But, at the end of the day, Reed Richards needs to pick his family. At the end of the day, Captain America does need to have faith in the country that he's fought for. At the end of the day, Arby's has got to taste awful. It's you got to stick to the core of the platform. You can't wander away from that. I think that's I think that's an issue that goes on here, and I think it's rooted simply in we need to do something new and shocking, exciting, and here you go. Here's what we'll do. And I think that's the path to ruin. You got to, it makes the job harder. Like yes, if you're gonna make a splash on Spider-Man, a good way to do it would be to come in and buck the responsibility, and that will certainly get people's attention. But it's inherent to the core of the character. And so, even though you may worry it makes things too dull, you got to nail the core. If you nail the core of the character, if you hold that true, then you can build off that. And I think you still have plenty of storytelling options. That's the thing. You can do anything you want here, but you can't break the characters in the process. James Bond needs to be able to do that PG-13 boning, or you've lost the platform. Anyway, thank you very much for the question, and curious what people think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for listening.